This week we're talking about Generation Z, which is the group born between about 1997 and 2012, so the oldest are coming up to about 25 now. Some are in the workplace, a lot of them are looking forward to going into the workplace. Now, this group has also been hardest hit by the pandemic. All of the data shows us that in terms of education, in terms of employment prospects, but also in terms of their mental health. Oracle and Workplace Intelligence have put out a global survey showing that 90% of Generation Z say that their mental health has been adversely affected by the pandemic, and 93% want companies to do more to support mental health. That's higher than in older groups, and particularly in contrast to the boomers. So I went to talk to some current undergraduates about what they're thinking about the world of work. I spoke to Nicole Syme and Oliver Hillman, who are studying fashion communications at Northumbria University and in their final year. And I spoke to Chris Oldnall, who is doing a maths masters at York and also works on this vlog. The first thing is that they do talk about mental health a huge amount, more than perhaps my generation is really that comfortable with. It is a running theme through all of the discussions that we had. But what's really interesting is that their perception is that it's us that has the problem rather than them.
If you're getting to the age of 50 and you are still working 100 hours a week, you just pick up your phone whenever. How's that damaging your personal life? How's that damaging your mental health, your physical health in the case that you've sort of talked about? I think I've seen this diagram where it's like you can pick 2 out of 4 out of personal life, mental health, physical health and work life. That is a very true diagram. You can't have all 4 in perfect balance if you're spending 100 hours a week doing all your work.
The second running tension that comes out of speaking to them is on social media. On the one hand, they're very, very aware that overuse of social media is bad for your mental health and damaging. On the other hand, they're under great pressure to create their own brands for the world of work. All of them as undergraduates are already building their profiles on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and looking at other social media platforms as well. And they're reviewing all the time which is the best platform for them and how to have an impact and how to get attention. And that's quite a tricky challenge for them to manage.
Trying to get people's attention is so hard these days because people are so used to just scrolling past something after not even necessarily a second.
I choose to put myself out there in the way that is me, but at its most polished and creative aspect.
The next thing is that they know the world of work is enormously competitive, and they know that it's at odds with the way that many of them were educated. This was a generation that grew up with sports days where everybody got a medal. It's now going into graduate recruitment rounds where companies say, we'll take on 20 people, but we only expect 10 of them to last the first year. There's a real difference in that approach. And Chris Oldnall is particularly thoughtful about the root cause of that difference.
The corporate world is structured by the generation above yourself. You know, we've come out of the war. We're going to get the country back up and running. You have to be the best. And if you're not, then go away. And that's that whole pass or fail thing. And I think that's something that your generation didn't particularly like. You know, I don't think anyone would like it. And so therefore, what you've done in then constructing our generation's environment, you know, your generation run our schools, hospitals, you know, it's pretty much everything that is a service that raises our children. They've constructed this world of, well, it's fine because we didn't get to try again, but it's fine. We're going to make it that you can. That has then created this world where ultimately it's put this pressure on of, you must try again, you must do it again, try again, get the best. It's gone from a binary system of pass fail to a 0 to 100% scale. And you've got the two competing between the corporate and the Gen Z world, where do you put everyone who fails in the 0 to 50%, but then can they then flip into, you know, that kind of thing just doesn't work. I guess for me, which will be interesting is, you know, in 30, 40 years time, what are my generation going to have constructed for their children? I'd love to see what's going to happen next, because what we've got at the moment in terms of competing systems just doesn't work.
But because they know it's competitive, they have planned and they have thought about how they're going to approach this world in a way that those of us who staggered out of university in the end of the 90s were not well equipped and not prepared. The action from this, the thing that we need to take away, is that this is a group that's grown up with feedback. They expect it, they need it, it's part of their worldview. It's our job to provide it to them if we want to keep them happy and sustainable and productive in the workplace. So, your takeaway today, go and give some appreciation, some feedback, some support to the Generation Zers in your life. On which note, Chris Oldnall, you are cracking. We really, really appreciate everything that you do for this vlog. And my favourite thing is when people tell me again and again that they could set their watch by the time that the newsletter drops into their inbox on a Friday morning, and that's down to you. So thank you so much for all you do. No bloody snowflaking around here. You are excellent. Next week, we're going to explore this issue a little bit more in detail. We're going to look at burnout specifically. We've got vlog favourite Dr. Bill Mitchell back on to talk to us about what we need to know. See you on Friday.